good afternoon, good noon, good night, wherever you are. Hello, I'm Sandy with Urban Rebel Designs in Aztec, New Mexico. Thanks for joining me this morning. I usually try to show you a quick, easy little thing that you can do on the weekends, but today I have a massive project that I'm starting, and I thought I would take you on the journey with me. Hi, Kelsey. When you jump on, hi, Dixie Belle, say hi. Dixie Belle, I'm giving you fair warning. I'm painting my store floor, so we're going to need extra gravel road, probably extra coffee bean, and definitely extra pine cone. Hi, Jerry. So I have already laid down a base coat in this area, and it's still a little bit damp, so I'm going to talk for just a minute. Hi, Nathina. Before we get started, I'll tell you what we're going to be using. So we're going to be using gravel road, and then we're going to be graining with pine cone, and then we're going to be dry brushing with a whole bunch of different colors. The plan is the new French linen. Have you seen this color? Is that not awesome? Hi, Bonnie. We're going to use some burlap and probably, pardon my jar, some driftwood. Now, my store is sort of a historic building in the area. It's the old construction supply building. It was the only lumber yard in our town for many years, and now it's gone. So I want to stay true to the history. So Nancy, part of this is a cement floor, part of it is, what's the tile called? It's like the thin plastic tile that they used to lay in schools. So, like I said, I want to remain true to the history of the building. I also want to say to my landlord, if you're watching, it's too late to back out now. So I have base coated this area with gravel road, and we've let it dry, and it's good and dry now. I may have to move you around a little bit while we do this, but I just wanted to show you how we're going to get started. I've taped off my wall, and I'm doing this in sections. Hi, Gina. And the plan is for the center of it is going to be a faux tooled leather rug look, but for the perimeter, I want to stay true to the lumber yard, so we're doing an old wood look. And we get to use our graining tool today, and I rolled this on. Now, when I cut in around the perimeter, I used a brush to cut in, and then I rolled the rest of it on. And I'm going to roll on the pine cone on top. I'm going to see if I can move you around a little bit so you can see the area that I'm working in. So give me just a second. Hi, Debbie. Thank you, Dixie Belle. Let's see if I can get this down. Y'all don't need to see me anyway. I'm just a skinny old woman. Okay. I'll start up a little bit above where you can see, but you'll be able to see everything that I'm doing. And I'm going to use I think this is a 4-inch roller, and I left my 4-inch handle at home, so we're going to make do. And we're going to use pine cone. Now, I want to stay this kind of damp so we can use the graining tool, so I am just going to mist the area that I'm working in, and I'm going to mist my roller. And I already have some pine cone poured out in my tray, so you'll know what's going on behind me. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to load my roller up really well, and then we're just going to start over here. Now, because I have to do this in sections because I can't close the store for 2 weeks to get it done, I'm leaving my edges random and scattered, so I can go in when I start the next section and it will look seamless. And for this, I'm using the larger graining tool. And to use the graining tool, I always start with it sitting in the middle. I'm going to try to come back here where you can see. Sitting in the middle of the curve, and then you're just going to pull it back, and you're going to rock it slowly as you pull it back. And that's what creates your knot holes. Now I also have, sitting next to me somewhere back here, some water that I'm just going to rinse this off in, and then I have an old raggedy towel that I'm going to wipe my graining tool off with, and we're going to work on farther back. This is going to be a bit of a process, but you can follow the whole process on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel. Both of them are Urban Rebel Designs. I'm trying to save my knees here. And get my roller again. And we're going to hope that this part dries before the end of the live, so I can show you how we're going to dry brush. And I am not worried on the first coat or the second coat about complete coverage, because I'm going to use the color of the floor to help me out some. So here, since I started in the center with this first one, I'm going to start on the end, and all we're doing is pulling and dragging. Now you want to vary where you start with the graining tool, so everything doesn't look so uniform. In nature, things are very rarely uniform, so you don't want it to look too perfect. And I know some of you, that's going to drive me crazy, but listen to me, you'll love it the way that it turns out. So I'm going to try to dry this just a little bit so we can start dry brushing. I really don't want to keep you on here watching paint dry.
We had another question of what kind of floor it is.
Okay, so this is an old lumber yard. Part of the floor is concrete. Part of it has some vinyl tile, that's the word, vinyl tile laid on top of it. It's been painted several times. I'm sitting here looking probably at least 3 times. So I'm hoping that this is the last time that it's painted. I haven't painted it. This is the first time that I have painted it. So we're going to start dry brushing, and what I'm going to do is I've got some of these, they're hamburger boxes, and I just tear them apart, tear them in half, and that's what I'm going to use for my paint dishes. And I'm just going to pour a little bit of paint in each one. Hopefully. See if I can do this without making a mess. I made a mess. Oh well, that's life. And it's just paint. So I want to know how many of you have a huge giant project like this going on this weekend? And what is it? Let's see. Hi Ginger, hi Samantha. That one was a little thick. Get some gray in here. So I actually went out this morning and took a look at some old barn wood that we have laying out in the yard. I need to stir this one a little bit. And what I found was that there were different shades of grays and browns, some that were almost black, and that's what I'm wanting to replicate.
What colors are you pouring?
Okay, so this one I did burlap. I'll hold it up. Okay, so I have, light's too bright there. I have burlap and I have French linen. This one is driftwood, and I'm gonna pour some coffee bean. Gotta have some coffee bean. That's for my girl Pam. Excuse me. So the way that I prepped the floor was I swept, I vacuumed, and then I mopped with White Lightning. And let me tell you, if you ever have any doubt about how well White Lightning cleans, mop your floor with it. It's amazing. I thought I kept my floor pretty clean, but evidently not. Okay. So, I think this is dry enough, let's see, to start dry brushing a little bit. What I did was I took a 3-inch chip brush, and then I cut the tips off. I can hold this one up. So this is what it looked like before, and you can see I cut the tips off, and I didn't care about them being perfectly flat. I actually wanted them to be a little random. And all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start with the coffee bean. So I'm just getting, and that's a little bit much, a little bit on my brush. I'm dabbing most of it off. And honestly, this is the tray I'll come back to when I need more coffee bean. And then with the lightest touch, I heard somebody say the other day, I think it was Pam, to do it like butterfly kisses. And that was the perfect explanation. You're not going to put any pressure on the brush. We are dry brushing, so we just want to get just a little bit of drag of that color. And you're not going to be able to see it very well, so I will hold you up here in just a minute so you can see all of the different steps. When I get over next to the wall, I turn it sideways. So that's it for the coffee bean. Oh, you can see it pretty well right here. I'm just barely getting any color. I'm not changing brushes, and I'm going into the burlap now. It's okay to mix your colors on this because they're going to mix anyway. So now I'm just going to start lightly going over with burlap. And this gives us that grayed washed look. And now let's go to French linen. And if you get too much of one color, don't worry, just go back in with one of the different colors. You can cover it right up. And this is just paint. So here's the French linen. This is the new color. Let me get you there. That I am madly in love with. Now when you're dry brushing this, this also helps make the grain that you have created pop out. Now we're moving to driftwood, and we're probably going to go back in with a little bit more coffee bean and some gravel road. Now on this spot, and you can't see it, right up here I got a little bit too much of the driftwood, so I will just go back in and cover that up. I'm going to let this set for 4 or 5 days, and then I will do, I'm planning on doing 4 thin coats of gator hide to seal it. And that's only because it's a high traffic area. If this were at my house, I probably would not seal it. I would just baby it for 28 or 30 days and leave it the really, really flat look. I got to get a little bit more coffee bean. And then I think I'm going to go in with some gravel road. Through this process, I'm going to have some other products that I'm going to be testing out. I have a graining roller that's supposed to be here today. So if you follow it on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel, then I'll give you an honest opinion of all the products that I'm trying out. I have my gravel road in my pan back here so I can roll on my base coat. So I'm just going to pick some up from it. And then I will hold you up and let you see how beautifully this works. I actually want a little more of the French linen over here. I am using the defects in this old floor as part of the design. When you look at it and you see the defects, it almost looks like saw marks or natural imperfections in planks, and it turns out beautiful. So let me see if I can hold you up and get you really close. It's kind of hard with this on a stand, but I want you to see, and I'm making it too dark. Let me see if I can get you this way. I want you to see all the beautiful grain and how when you go over it with the dry brush, it just makes that grain pop out. I also wanted to talk to you for a couple of minutes. When you're going to do a floor, it's a big project, and you want to think about your design a little bit before you get started. Turn you back up. Well, I can't. There it goes. Here we go. Okay, now you can see my mug. So my thought is I want it running lengthways from the front door, so it invites you in. I was afraid if I did it crossways, then it would kind of be a psychological stop, a barrier. I'm going to do a cute little welcome mat at the front door, and I have some ideas for a couple of other areas in the store, but I just wanted to show you what I was doing to get started. You have a high traffic area in your house, and you want to do your entrance and only way to bedrooms and bathrooms. Any suggestions? Hang on, I got to see more. And it won't let me right now. What I would suggest would be to do it, if you can, an area at a time, so you still have a way to get in and out of the bathroom until it dries, and then just baby it for a couple of weeks. Yeah, we had another question?
No, it was the rest of that one.
Okay.
Any suggestions on how to do this and keep it protected in the curing time?
You could also put down like some craft paper, and then if you have kids, just threaten them with their lives if they ruin it. I don't have an issue because I go barefoot all the time, and I mean I go barefoot all the time, can't paint with shoes on. So what we will do here in the store for today and tomorrow is we're going to put up a barrier around the area that I'm doing, and sure enough somebody's going to walk on it. It's just going to happen. So, oh, you have 6 kids. Okay, I would say put down paper. Get some thick craft paper. I think, don't they make some paper that you can put on the floor that's a little bit thicker than craft paper? So I would paint it, let it dry to the touch, and then put some paper on top of it. So this is what I'm going to be finishing up today while the store's open. Wish me luck. If you pray, please pray for me. Again, I'm going to go through the colors. So we did the base coat in Gravel Road. We did the graining in Pine Cone. I dry brushed French linen, the new French linen, which is beautiful. I'm obsessed with this color. This in the antebellum blue, and the rusty nail, and the sawmill gravy, and the dusty blue. Let's face it, I'm obsessed with color. Oh, and driftwood. And we used our graining tool. Curing time's 28 to 30 days, and that's true with all paint, regardless of what they say. It is a 28 to 30 day cure time, and the way I usually explain it is it's like baking cornbread. So this is dry to the touch now, but it's not cured. So it's like putting cornbread in the oven and you take it out a little too early. The top of it is nice and golden brown, but you cut into it and it kind of goes, that's dry time. You put it back in the oven, let it finish baking, you take it out, you cut into it, and it's perfect. That's cure time. With cure time, all it means is you're letting the moisture in the product that you put on evaporate and bond to the surface that you put it on. Thanks for joining me today. If you have any questions, if you're watching the replay and you have any questions, please post them here. I do my best throughout the day and the night to go back through and answer everything. If I miss you, post it again or send me a private message. I'm always happy to help. If I don't know the answer, I sure will find out for you. Thanks for joining me. Everybody have a great weekend, and we will talk to you next week.